right, ladies and gentlemen, we are filming here on Tuesday, September 2nd for Wednesday, September 3rd. Yeah, because of Labor Day, we delayed it a day to film, but we are here. Okay, there's a lot of good going on, including football is definitely back. I know I keep saying football, but no, it is back. High school's is now entering game 3, college is entering game 2, and NFL's entering game 1 this week. So much going on. And then we're in September, which, Bob, you know, that is the biggest month in baseball. This is like, for the regular season, I should say, this is the most, this is the separates the boys and men.
Separates the boys and the men. This is where they're running for the playoff spots now, and there's some close races going on.
Right.
I mean, especially in the wild card run, you know. Our Guardians had a rough so week. They win 4 in a row, and then they lose 2 in a row. I think they're only 3 games out. They still got an outside chance with 30 games to go. So, you know, but
absolutely,
my Reds are still around. You know, so they're still playing good ball. I think they're 2 games out of the last wild card spot.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a heated race all month long in September. Summer is ending, fall is coming, and a lot of change. But hopefully for the better, especially up there in Huntington Bank Stadium. We're hoping for a big change compared to last year. But we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But it is 10 Cent Beer Night, the official sports show on FifthDimensionRadio.com, every Wednesday, 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time here at FifthDimensionRadio.com. Make sure you like us on Facebook and then follow our YouTube page too. Absolutely.
We got week 3 of high school football on Fifth Dimension Radio. On Friday night, we're going to have the Green Bulldogs are traveling over to Talmadge High School to face the Blue Devils in a it's a non-conference match. Suburban League Talmadge, the Federal League, the Green Bulldogs. So
it's going to be. I think it's going to be.
It's going to be a good game.
Quick preview there for that one. Setting it up there again, like Bob mentioned, is that Talmadge. Talmadge is 1-1. They beat Ellett last week, 23-6 at Ellett. Some guys to look out for on Talmadge. Sony Kuva, he's a senior linebacker and running back. Gage Hurston, he's a senior for plays both offensive and defensive line, 6'2", 290 pounds. Nate Hunt Heller, a senior who plays tight end and defensive line, and Harry Jividen, a senior who plays wide receiver and a defensive back. And that is for Talmadge
Blue
there.
Devils. And the Bulldogs,
Green, who overall had a solid season last year. I think they're 0-2 right now. They fell to Indian Valley 28-21 last week. They've only their combined total in both their losses is about 8 points. So I mean, it's not bad. They're hanging in there, but they're hoping for a win.
It should be a good game. I'll tell you what. Green plays in the Federal League, and personally, in my opinion, the Federal League is the best league in Northeast Ohio, if not the state of Ohio. I mean, you got McKinley, you got Glen Oak, you got Jackson, which has always got good teams. Perry, and I think Perry started off. They beat St. Vincent last week. So that's a very good conference. And of course, Green spent many years in the old Metro and Suburban League.
Right. I know your son-in-law is very happy about Perry's success there. He's that's his alma mater. So to have them play
Perry Panthers
the past few years has it's the one team we'll like hearing him talk about, not his pro team. So, but just messing with him there.
Of course, my daughter talks about the other team.
I know.
The Massillon Tigers. Chris hates.
Hey, maybe if they go up against each other sometime in the playoff or whatnot, Perry could show them. We'll see. But for Green High School there, Luke Scal, and if I say any of these wrong, I do apologize in advance. Junior linebacker. He was also big on special teams last year. Reed Liberator, he's a sophomore who transferred back to Green. He's both wide receiver and cornerback. So sophomore that transferred back. It makes me wonder if he was there originally and then he transferred somewhere real quick beginning last year. If he's only a sophomore.
Well, how would he transfer? Because last year he'd have been a freshman. Did he transfer out as a freshman and then transfer back as a sophomore?
I'm wondering if he's a junior and it's a if it's a typo here. But Sam Dubrovets. Yep, he's wide receiver, a senior. He's actually three-sport athlete. He does basketball and baseball too, I guess, very well too. But they want to see what he does as a wide receiver there. Joel Brink, a junior. He's a wrestler in the winter, but he plays safety and wide receiver for the football team there. Robert Hainberg is senior, playing linebacker and wide receiver. Cole Metcalf, another senior, he plays linebacker and wide receiver as well. So
anyway, it should be a very good game. You can catch all the action. Kickoffs at 7 p.m. With Ronnie Whitmer, veteran Ronnie Whitmer, and Chris Canova. They'll be doing the play-by-play this week. Pre-game will start at 6:45. Kickoffs at 7. Hear it all here on Fifth Dimension Radio. And you can also watch the replay on Monday nights at 7 p.m. on WAOH.TV. Or I'm sorry, 6. Thanks for it's 6 o'clock. I just got yelled at over there. The WAOH.TV. You can catch the replay at 6 p.m. Video and audio. So
there you have it there. So a lot of cool stuff going on here at Fifth Dimension Studios. I did tune into the game briefly on Friday, in and out before the blowout happened, because I know Stowe ran away with that one. But there was much of that game there. It was close for like the first half, and I got to listen to it. And again, great broadcast. I give any of these teams that are shorthanded. Sounds like the Magics didn't have the biggest roster as well, similar to what we saw last week at Waterloo.
That's they still had a big team, but
yeah.
Barberton had maybe 40 guys.
That's not bad. No, that's not.
But I'll tell you what, Barberton had a couple sophomores, and I think they had one freshman start, and Barberton had a couple sophomore starts. So
good. Get those guys in there early, and play some football. But yeah, I mean, everything sounded great. Everything, it looks. Watch some of the video replay. It looks great. So
I forgot you can also catch that on our YouTube channel.
Right.
The replay on our YouTube channel. That's Fifth Dimension 10-cent beer night. That's our Fifth Dimension. That's our YouTube channel. Fifth Dimension Radio. Yep.
10-cent beer night.
I'm lost today. Thank you, producer.
That's right. Well, good thing we have producer Bob in here for sure. And the work he's helped put in for the high school football too. We really do appreciate.
Well, I tell you what, that guy, that's Mr. Fifth Dimension Radio right there.
Right. I agree.
If it wasn't for him, we'd be
cooked.
We'd be cooked. I didn't want to say that, but
to put it nicely there. Switching gears now to the Cleveland Guardians, 68-68 record. Last week, overall successful 1-2 series with 4-2. It started off bad against Tampa Bay 0-9, and then which was their third straight shutout against them. Turn around and shut out Tampa Bay back, and then beat them in extras in Cleveland there. They went out and played Seattle. They won that series, which I think is a big deal. Seattle's playing good ball. They're a team that could steal the West later in the month, but they're still in the wild card conversations too.
Well, they are the third wild card team right now, as of right now. And Cleveland, by taking 2 out of 3, gained a game on them.
Right.
So,
well, it'll be interesting.
But there's a team in between both of those, Seattle and Cleveland, and that's Kansas City.
Yep.
And Kansas City ain't letting up.
No. And I warned you Kansas City could turn up later this year, and we're seeing it now. For this week, they've already lost Monday against Boston, 4-6. By the time you hear this, they'll be wrapping up the last game against Boston. But they are at Fenway Park through Wednesday, and then they have a 4-game stand in Tampa Bay. Specific for those that don't know, Tampa Bay has not been playing at their field all season long because of the last hurricane. The roof broke and destroyed parts of the field, so they said to get while they're in talks to get a new field too. While the time it happened, because remember this was January or so. It was one of those late hurricanes.
Yeah, it's they've been playing in the minor leagues park there in Florida.
The Yankee spring training
camp,
facility is where they've been playing because it's close enough to Tampa Bay. It's in good condition, and it's that's what made it uncomfortable about when they played the Yankees down there. You couldn't call it a home game because a lot of the fans were also Yankees fans. Not that that doesn't happen anyway, but because it was their facility, Yankees fans got a little territorial, would show up,
Right.
They're going to show up regardless. But I mean,
the spring training facilities are like minor league parks.
Right.
That's so we got 2 teams playing in minor league parks this year.
Right. With the A's
with
too.
The A's.
And that situation's still very interesting. But so Cleveland will be down there in that stadium, and until they can hopefully they'll get Tampa Bay will get their dome back next year. Because if they get the new stadium, it's probably going to be a few years anyway. But they just switched ownership too, so we'll see what happens there. But
take that roof off anyway. Baseball's an outdoor sport.
That's what they're planning on doing there.
Just take the roof off.
So yeah, I mean, a half game behind the Guards there in the wild card is the Rays. So the Rays are going to come at them, and then you have the Red Sox. You have the second wild card seed as of now. So these are important games for Guards. Got to find a way to win this. If they beat Seattle, they could probably find a way to beat Boston. But Boston is playing much better ball than Seattle at this point in time.
They need to take series.
Right.
You can't afford these 3, 4, 5 game losing streaks. They need to take series. They take series, they'll be there.
Right.
But they got to take series, especially against Tampa Bay. They got to take a series. Against Boston, they got to take a series.
Yeah, it would be huge if they could walk. They have 7 games this week. If they could walk out with at least 5, that's huge, I think.
Oh yeah.
4 I'll take, but anything less than 4, you're putting yourself in a weird, because these are 2 teams in the conversation. So you really risk a lot. One loss really will hit you hard. And they were lost to the Red Sox yesterday, so we'll see what happens Monday, I should say. So if they can come back and win that series, they can save themselves right there. The rest of the standings right now, as far as just playoffs go, Tigers in the lead the American League with 80-59. So at the end of this week, they're expected to be over 500 officially for the rest of the season. They just gotta get to 82 at that point. Blue Jays 79-59 lead the East. Astros 76-62 lead the West. Right now, your wild cards are Yankees at 76 wins and 61 losses. Red Sox at 77 wins, 62 losses, and Mariners are 73-65. Rangers a game and a half behind the Mariners. Royals 2.5 games back. Guards are 4, and Tampa Bay's 4.5. Anybody behind Tampa, they're pretty much eliminated. Like, they're going to be out of the... I don't see the Angels or A's, which, by the way, are the next teams right behind them, coming back and...
I'll tell you what, though, if you would have told me the A's were going to be that close to the wild card,
right,
I would have said you're crazy.
If you would have told me
they played decent
the
ball.
A's would have been closer than the Orioles, I probably would have called you nuts. But no, that's the reality of the situation right now.
I'm telling you, they want to sell those tickets in Las Vegas.
They do. For the National League, Brewers are 85-54, so they're already officially over 500 for the rest of the year, and they lead the National League Central. Philadelphia Phillies are 80-58, leaders of the East there. They got the second seed as of now. Dodgers lead the West at 78-59. They're the third seed. Had a hard time against the Diamondbacks this past weekend, though. That was interesting. In the wild card spot, the first wild card spot right now is contained by the Chicago Cubs at 79-59. They have just claimed Carlos Santana off of waivers.
I did see
the
that.
Guardians cut him. So, Cubs fans are excited. They've made jokes about, if you don't know the story, about a year or two ago. It was probably a little, it may have even been 3. Santana was with the Phillies. And, he takes his position very seriously, which is what we like to hear in Cleveland. And the Phillies players were caught playing Fortnite in the middle of the game. That's a video game. And he took a baseball bat and smashed the TV in front of him. And he said, we're done playing video games. It's time to play baseball. Because they were trying to compete for...
So he played an Albert Bell.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. But he took a baseball bat. They said he was fuming when he saw that. So, but back to the National League, the second wild card spot right now is with San Diego Padres 76 and 62. Third will be the New York Mets at 74 and 64. 4 games behind the Mets are the Reds. 5 games behind the Mets are the Giants. 6.5 games behind the Mets are the Diamondbacks and Cardinals. And I don't think it goes to anybody behind that line. I think it's pretty much eliminated at this point. But Diamondbacks being more and more in the conversations as the weeks go by shows that this team is not giving up, and a lot of their prospects have stepped up to the plate, pun intended, since the trade deadline. They traded away all those players, and they have been playing hard. So that's that.
Like I said, this is the month. This is the month of the run.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, like I said, the Guardians are still in the talk, but I personally, I don't think they're going to do it. Personally, but I'm hoping.
They called up a lot of guys yesterday, including George Valera.
Yeah.
He's been in the talks since like 2019. The front office has been sold on this guy. They just didn't know.
Well, Bohanna got called up. I didn't hear that.
I believe so. I know Christmas got called up again.
Did
Yeah.
he? He played the outfield yesterday in that controversial call.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
I heard of it, but I didn't.
I don't think it hit the pole. They said it was a home run because it hit the foul pole. I don't think, judging by the thing, it didn't hit that foul pole. It was foul ball.
There you go.
I wish if we could show it, I'd dig it up, but.
Right, we don't have that copyright right now, so that's we would pull it up there, but yeah, and I know a lot of people were saying that was the complaint about the replays is you replay it and you still get it wrong or something like that. I guess a lot of people outside Cleveland felt that it was the same way that wasn't the right call there, but
no, to me it hit his mitt first before it hit the foul pole. But it ricocheted off his mitt and went into the stands.
Would that be a double? Was he standing in foul?
No, it was in foul territory.
Oh, okay. So it would be foul then.
Yeah.
Because I didn't see.
Personally, that's what I said. It was like a 2-run, 3-run home run. The Guardians was in the game, but Christmas was the outfielder.
There you go. Well, yeah. So then he was called back up because the incident happened with him. So. There you go. But Guards got to figure it out. They got these 2 American League East opponents that are in the thick of the playoff race. They got to win the series. I like their chance with Tampa. I'm not sure about Boston. And I know while we're talking, they're wrapping up that series now. But Boston's just played very, very well this year. They've been impressive, to say the least. We got to take a break. When we come back, Julian Sayin, Ohio State quarterback, makes history. And we'll talk more about the Akron game we went to. That and more. Stay tuned. Welcome back here to 10 Cent Beer Night here at FifthDimensionRadio.com. I'm Seth.
I'm Bob.
And college football. What a great first week. Fantastic first week here. So here's a quick breakdown. Of course, we're going to talk about the Ohio State-Texas game. Ohio State won 14-7. Julian Sayin they were saying he was the first one, but I guess Jim Harbaugh did it in 1983 too.
Yeah.
But one of the first to have their first start against a number 1 overall team and beat them. I think he's only the second one ever to do it, but it was very impressive. But Ohio State's defense still played like a championship caliber defense under Matt Patricia for their first year. Offense overall went well. I mean, Sane didn't put up crazy numbers, but he played well. He did what he had to do. And I think just the nerves and going up against that tough defense first and just getting it done and not turning over the ball, that was huge too. People were talking about Ohio State's past 6 games, including going to last year, and they said they deserve Grambling State this week. So kind of just let them have a beat-up team there. But we haven't got word yet, but we're expecting Ohio State to move up to number 1 after beating number 1 Texas there. Defense was very impressive there. So, like you said at break, Bob, 4 down stops, including the red zone.
The defense played great.
Arch Manning, very limited there. Ranked teams that lost this past week, Kansas State lost to number 22 Iowa State 24-21. Kansas State was ranked 17, so there was a minor upset there. Boise State was number 25 in the nation, got blown out by University of South Florida 34-7. University of South Florida was unranked. Number 8 Bama got blown out by Florida State, who, by the way, was also unranked. That kind of
shocked me.
31-17. I wasn't. I think
that kind of shocked me.
Florida State got some good recruits and transfers in. Bama's not been the same since Saban. I would not have thought that would have been the score, but I thought it would have been close, and I could have saw Florida State edging them out on that one. But it is what it is there. I'm looking. Number 9 LSU beat number 4 Clemson 17-10. That was a good game there. Yeah, I'm looking for anybody else I don't mention. They won, and that's the case here. Number 10 Miami beat number 6 Notre Dame 27-24. So that was everybody else ranked 1 this past week there.
How did our boys up north do?
They won.
Did they?
Yeah, you're talking about the enemy, right?
Yeah, the boys up north. Yeah. Not state. The other one.
Yeah, the other one. Yeah, they won. So there you have it there. Big Ten games this week, which is a mix of Big Ten and MAC. So we usually do the Big Ten and the MAC. We got a whole mix here. So we'll start with Friday on September 5th. There's 7:30 p.m. Big Ten Network. We'll have Northern Illinois at Maryland. And then at 7:30 p.m. at Big Ten Network, you will have, I don't recognize the school, Western Illinois at Northwestern there. Maryland's predicted to be 18.5-point favorites in their game. It doesn't have the spread for Northwestern, but I can see Northwestern should be winning that.
Northern Illinois is the team that left the Mid-American Conference.
There you go. 3:30 p.m. on Big Ten Network. Grambling State at Ohio State.
The Tigers.
Yeah.
The Tigers at Grambling State.
They recently fired Hugh Jackson after last year, so they're entering a state that knows both teams, Cincinnati and Cleveland, that know Hugh Jackson well, but they're going to go right in the middle between those two cities into Columbus and play Ohio State there. So I expect bigger numbers now from Julian Sayin and the crew, and I think
you got a Division I school, the big Division I school, playing a Division II school.
Right.
Grambling's going to get hammered, but they're still going to win.
Right.
Money.
Money.
I'm sure Grambling's getting a good payday.
Are you going to that one?
I got a ticket for it, but I don't know if I'm going down though.
Okay. But so Bob might be there, so just take note of that. Noon on ESPN, number 12 Illinois at Duke. That'll be interesting. Illinois is 3-point favorites there. Noon on Fox Sports 1, you have Kennesaw State at number 20 Indiana. I've never heard of them. I apologize. Indiana is 36.5-point favorites. Then noon on Big Ten Network, you have FIU. I mean, it's Florida International.
It is Florida International.
At number 2, Penn State. Penn State is 41.5-point favorites there. So a lot of the Big Ten got guys they can beat up on. And this one's going to be a good one. Noon on Fox, you have the Battle of Iowa. You have Iowa at Iowa State.
That should be a good one.
Iowa State played very well in their game this past week, and Iowa State is favored by 3. Noon on Big Ten Network, Northwestern Illinois will be at Minnesota. 3:30 p.m. on Peacock. Miami of Ohio will be at Rutgers. Rutgers is a 14.5-point favorites there. You got, let's see, 3:30. Yeah, there's another 3:30 p.m. game on CBS. Oklahoma State at Oregon. That'll be an interesting one. Oregon's 28.5-point favorites though. 4 o'clock out of Fox Sports 1. You have Montana State University at Wisconsin. Wisconsin's 28.5-point favorites there. Again, blowouts. 7:30 on NBC. You have Boston College at Michigan State. Michigan State's only 3.5-point favorites there. 7:30 p.m. Big Ten Network. We'll talk about this team a little bit more in a sec. You have Akron at Nebraska. Nebraska's 34.5 players. We'll talk about the aggregate this past week in a sec, though. Give it at 7:30 p.m. on Big Ten Network. You have Southern Illinois at Purdue. 7:30 p.m. on ABC. You have, this is going to be a good one. Probably the biggest game out of all the Big Ten. Number 14, the team up north, will be at number 18, Oklahoma. Oklahoma's 5.5-point favorites. That's your biggest game there in the Big Ten.
That should be a pretty big game. Pretty good game.
Yep. 7:30 p.m. Fox Sports 1, Georgia Southern at USC, and USC's 20.5-point favorites. 8 p.m. on CBS Sports Network, UCLA at UNLV, going to Las Vegas there, and UCLA's 2.5-point favorites. 11 p.m. Big Ten Network, you have, oh my gosh, UC Davis is at Washington. That's going to be a slaughterhouse. I mean,
that'll be a 40-point victory. But these teams usually schedule games like this the first couple games of the season. To get them ready for their conference play and get them. But every once in a while, one of these teams. Who was it last year when Notre Dame got beat? Remember?
No, it's in Northern Illinois.
Northern Illinois. Nobody's seen that one coming.
Right. MAC schools, real quick. The ones we did not mention that are already playing a Big Ten team. Noon on ESPNU, Central Michigan will be at Pitt, and Pitt is 21.5-point favorites there. That'll be a rough one there. Saturday on TNT, out of everybody, Kent State that ended their 21-game losing streak.
Yeah, they won. They won Saturday.
Yeah, barely though, and that's it.
They won.
Division II school, and it took a 100-yard kickoff return to make it happen, but they won. They will be at number 23 Texas Tech, and Texas Tech is 48.5-point favorites there. 3:30 p.m. on ESPN Plus, you will have St. Francis
Of Pennsylvania.
Yep, at Buffalo, and no spread there. That could be a good matchup right there. ESPN Plus at 3:30 p.m. Bowling Green at Cincinnati, and Cincinnati's 21.5-point favorites there. Bowling Green for the second straight year started their season off with a kick return touchdown. Eddie George had a good first game as their head coach, and he's 1-0 there. 3:30 p.m. on ESPN Plus, you have Bryant at University of Massachusetts. But UMass lost last week, so they're looking for their first win as a MAC school. 3:30 p.m. at ESPN Plus, you have North Texas at Western Michigan. And North Texas is 10-point favorites, believe it or not. 4 p.m. on ESPNU, you have West Virginia at Ohio. So Athens is going to host a bigger school this week. West Virginia is 3-point favorites there. 7 p.m. on ESPN Plus, you have LIU versus Eastern Michigan, and that's at Eastern Michigan there. 7 p.m. on ESPN Plus, Western Kentucky at Toledo. Rumor has it Western Kentucky is considering entry to the MAC. Hasn't happened. Toledo's 7-point favorites here. Western Kentucky's already played 2 games and they're 2-0. 7:30 p.m. on ESPNU. It's going to be a slaughterhouse. Ball State at Auburn, and Auburn's 42.5-point favorites there.
Oh.
So, MAC's all over the place as far as big games and small games go. And of course, for the bigger games, a lot of them, especially when they're away, they get paid, as Bob had mentioned. Kent State's
big money.
Kent State's going to get paid to play Texas Tech. Akron's going to get paid to play Nebraska. Akron this past week played Wyoming in Akron. Akron lost 10-0. We can't say it was the worst game we've seen from them.
No, they played. Their defense played great.
Yeah,
I think their defense. there was a couple plays that the offense did, especially that one interception in the end zone,
Right.
wide open Wyoming guy wide open, and he threw it like he was throwing to him.
Right.
You know, they were moving the ball. They got down there, then it's intercepted. I'll tell you, their offense looked horrible to me. I kept saying to myself when we sitting there, try another quarterback. Put another quarterback in there. They wouldn't change quarterbacks. If it ain't working, try something different. And I'm gonna tell you, I really believe that this could be, if this season goes as horrible as I think it's gonna go, this is Moorhead's last year. And I think he's got a couple years left on his contract.
Yeah. This is his 4th season. I thought it was.
I think he renewed it like 2 years ago. They upped it or something.
I thought he was on his 3rd, and then I got a reminder from my Facebook page attending his first win in game ever at Akron, and that was 3 years ago. So this is season 4 for him. Ben Finley, the quarterback, had a bad game.
Oh, I mean, if you're struggling, put another quarterback in.
I did like Michael Johnson Jr., the guy they got from Syracuse. He's the son of a former Cleveland Brown or grandson of a former Cleveland Browns player. We got some information there, but this is a guy, a quarterback, 6'4". He can run it, and they were doing some trick plays with him.
When he was in there a couple times, he was in there. They moved the ball.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they didn't.
And he didn't necessarily throw it. He more scrambled or was handing it
ran
off or anything. Yeah, exactly. And then the play Bob was talking about with the interception, they had 4 big run plays on there. And again, Moorhead can get a running back. He's got some good running backs when he's here. He's got some good running backs in the team now. He got a transfer from LSU over the winter, okay? Finley even ran it for like 12, 15 yards on one play. So they had they ran it 4 straight times. And I mean, we're talking I think the worst play was 7 yards. Was what they gained on the worst play between the 4, and they go to throw it. I think they were at the 5 or something.
Yeah.
They were pretty close, and then that's when Finley threw the interception. If they get a touchdown there, I think this whole game is different there. But interesting hosting Wyoming. Again, Wyoming did have the biggest team last year, but it is a bigger school. Larry Nance Jr. was in attendance. Cleveland Cavalier also attended Wyoming.
He played basketball for Wyoming.
Yeah.
We see him walking along the sideline down there.
Right. A lot of Josh Allen jerseys. For those that don't remember, the reigning MVP went to Wyoming and played there his entire collegiate career. And so,
I mean, it was a good game. Akron needs to step up their offense.
Right.
Defense played great.
Impressed me about the defense is outside giving up the big play 3 or 4 times, which that hurt them. That's what set up the points and everything. The pass breakups, the pressure, the run game went nowhere for Wyoming. It was more just big pass plays, if anything. And so there would have been some more big pass plays if Akron didn't knock those passes down. And I mean, they were right on it. So their defense was. If they play defense like that every time, they will be better than last year for sure. It's just getting that ball in the air and getting complete passes and everything. Because again, the run game's good. I would say do it more if you can. But it's just getting the ball through the air because too many 3-and-outs. Punter played well. Punter had 3 balls inside the 5.
Yeah, he did well.
I know nobody wants to worry about the punter, but that's a big deal. Especially one of his punts was pretty long too. It's like 40-yarders.
I think he had a 55.
He may have, yeah.
Yeah, 55-yard punt.
Yeah, that didn't go in the end. He had one that went in the end zone for a touchback, but other than that, I mean, he played very, very well.
But it's like I said, it's only the first game, and Nebraska really, we know that's going to probably be a loss, and and then where they go? They go. Then they're on the road the next 2 weeks. They're in Nebraska, then they go to before they come home. Yeah, University of Alabama, Birmingham.
Yeah.
And then they come home against Duquesne, which is Division II school there in Pittsburgh.
Right.
Of course, Keith Dambrot, our former basketball coach at Akron, that's where he went and coached for a while before he retired.
I think Division I because it's a bigger school than Akron.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, they're in a good conference there. Yeah, Keith won his one and only big tournament game with Duquesne right there. So, but
he had more at Akron.
He had more. He had a better record, but he didn't have a.
Oh no, yeah, he won. He won in the.
He didn't win. He didn't win in the big tournament.
We got to win one in the big tournament.
Right.
Man.
We'll
We
talk
get
about
there. We get there every year.
We'll talk about that in a few months. So like, yeah, we football just started. Yeah.
I'm not talking about it now. I just made my first payment yesterday. It came out of my checking account
There you go.
for basketball season. We're gonna have to get everybody. You know what? We gotta get Bob to a game one night with us,
Yeah. I
and
think
go
so.
go to the
Producer Bob
tailgating
there.
party with us and stuff.
Yeah. But as far as the MAC goes, the only winners this past week: Bowling Green, Central Michigan, Kent State, and Northern Illinois. The rest lost.
But
So-
Kent State won. Who'd they play?
Oh,
I knew they won. Somebody said they won, but I didn't. I don't remember who they played. They didn't say
they
they played.
played Merrimack.
Merrimack.
That's a Division II's right there.
Yeah, I think it's, yeah, they're in the same conference with Malone College, or baseball wise. Malone, Walsh Jesuit,
Right.
not Walsh Jesuit, Walsh College.
Right. For the Big Ten, real quick, the only teams, it's short to list the teams that didn't win this past week. Northwestern and UCLA were the only teams that did not win. Everybody else in the Big Ten won. So, Big Ten's up for grabs. But of course, Ohio State taking out the number one team in the nation. They kind of have the edge right now. So we'll look.
I'm surprised that Texas was number one. I mean, coming off of last season, Ohio State beat them in the playoffs.
They go by
I go by. I know guys that get
schedule and transfers and
Transfers,
recruits, and they had the majority. The Arch Manning hype helped too.
I really thought they would, Penn State would be up there number one.
Well, they were top 5.
Yeah, I know, but
Yeah.
Penn State got a lot of guys back from
I
last
had
year's team.
Ohio State. I thought Georgia would have been in the conversation higher than what they were. Their quarterback from last year, who they blamed fault on, transfers to Miami, Ohio, and beats up Notre Dame, so that showed he wasn't the problem. It is what it is there, but those are the games to look out for. So I got Ohio State winning this week. I think we got Akron losing. I'm going to assume you do too.
Oh, no, this is the upset. This is
Well, they've upset the Big Ten before.
I'll tell you what. I'll take Akron in the 48 points.
There you go.
That's a lot of points. That's 7 touchdowns.
There you have it. We got to take a break. When we come back, me and Bob are predicting our first week, and of course with season predictions of the NFL here on 10 Cent Beer Night. I'm looking for it. I've been wanting to make these picks for a while, so here we go. We'll be right back. Alright, welcome to our last segment of 10 Cent Beer Night, and it's a special last segment. It's our NFL preview here on 10 Cent Beer Night, as things will kick off Thursday night here in the NFL. Not here in Tiger Falls, Ohio, but it's here.
It's here.
It's here.
The football season is here.
After the Super Bowl, after the offseason, including the draft, we have made it here. So,
Just thinking, 22 weeks from today, or this week, it'll be Super Bowl time.
right, it'll be all over. It'll be cold outside.
And baseball should be starting again.
Yeah, and the Cavs will be good. Everything will be great in 20 weeks.
Yeah, we'll have.
The holidays will be over.
I love the holidays.
Well, we're simulating through that if you want to go fast forward past the 20 weeks.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, people have been waiting 20 weeks for this, so we might as well give them it. Okay, well, hey, we're going to start things off Thursday night, 8:20 p.m. on NBC. The Dallas Cowboys at the reigning champion Philadelphia Eagles. And this is where it's going to be interesting. Okay, on one side, the Cowboys traded away superstar Micah Parsons to the Green Bay Packers this past week. Jerry Jones swore up and down they shouldn't lose sleep over this, and he went ahead and traded him anyway. Okay, so you have a Cowboys team that's off to a better start. but they want to prove themselves against this rival. You have the Philadelphia Eagles, who had a beautiful season last year. I mean, ended the best way possible, but I mean, all season last year were tough. And Saquon Barkley was ranked the #1 player in the NFL yesterday. Myles Garrett got 8, so we got one guy in the top 10. But he's also in the Madden cover, so you know what that usually means. So we'll see what happens here. We have Cowboys.
I hope it ain't like the Sports Illustrated cover back in the early 90s when they put the Indians on there and they lost 100 games.
It's a little worse than that. Everybody gets hurt when they're on the Madden. Everybody. Look it up. Everybody that has had the Madden cover has had an injury that sent them back that season. Everybody.
Yeah.
Ask last year.
Well, we don't need Miles to get injured.
No, he should get in the Madden cover. Cowboys at Eagles. Bob, how are you feeling about this matchup here?
Philadelphia.
You're going Philadelphia.
I'm going Philly. I think the Cowboys they're messed up. I mean, I think they're I don't know. There's a lot of problems going on in Dallas.
I'm going to take Philly by 13. I think, home game after winning the Super Bowl against one of your bitter rivals, and a rival that just had to make a big decision recently, which put a sour taste in the team's mouth. I think that definitely affected the morale with the team. And I think, I have Cowboys having a solid season this year. I'll take Philadelphia to win the division in my early predictions here. But I just think Philly's the better team, and I think they're going to get back to a good start here. They're going to pick up back where they ended, I should say. And I'll take Philly here. Friday, September 5th. Yes, we have a Friday game. Because of Brazil. We have on NFL Plus the Kansas City Chiefs in Brazil against the Los Angeles Chargers here. So here's the situation. The Chiefs coming off that Super Bowl loss, okay? They've added some good pieces. Drafted free agents. Nobody huge, but just important pieces there. Travis Kelce did get engaged to Taylor. I bring that up because I think the distraction will be less of a distraction now, believe it or not.
Taylor will still be in this. That's Brazil. She's going to Brazil.
Yeah, I think Travis now, he's got the monkey off his face. Prime example, want a baseball example? When Verlander got engaged and married to Kate Upton, he became a Cy Young player again. Yeah. He struggled in the middle. Look at the stats. Look at this when he started seeing Kate Upton until she committed to his life. There's a big difference, and I think Kelce's numbers weren't bad the past couple of years, but he's not what he used to be, and he's hitting. This might be the last season. I think he's going to go on top. I think he's going to have a good season here. On the other side of things, with the Chargers, you have Jim Harbaugh, who had a solid season last year with the Chargers. They did add Hampton, a first-round pick running back there. They also did add for Steelers running back Dejon Harris, who's expected to play despite missing all of camp. What do you think of Bob here? Chiefs at Chargers.
I'll go with Kansas City.
He's going to go with Kansas City here. I forgot to give you guys the spreads too. So the spread: Philly's favored by 8.5 points. Kansas City's favored by 3.
I'll go with Kansas City.
I'm going Chargers by 3, and I'm going to tell you why. I just think going into this season and what they added throughout the offseason and the progress we saw in Justin Herbert last year, I just think if they're going to beat Kansas City, it'll be by their luck. They'll beat them not at home. They'll beat them, and this is replacing a home game, by the way.
That's true.
They'll beat them in Brazil. It's just good. I have Kansas City being very good this year, but I think this first game I'm going to go with Chargers. I just think my gut is telling me they're going to just edge them out, and they're going to win at the end of the day. So, but I do think it's going to be close there. So we go to Sunday, September 7th. I'm shocked this game's on Fox. Usually the AFC match is on CBS, but 1 p.m. at Fox. We have the Cincinnati Bengals at the Cleveland Browns. Both teams having disappointing seasons last year. Bengals had an overall one of the better offenses, but could only scrounge up not enough. They didn't scrounge up enough wins to go to the playoffs. No huge additions to their roster. A lot of extensions. They did make some interesting draft picks. So we'll see here. Cleveland, though, having a 3-win season, did a ton in the offseason. Did a lot in the draft, and most importantly, brought Joe Flacco back. And he will be your starting quarterback there. Bengals are 5.5-point favorites. Bob, what are you thinking?
Only because of Flacco, I'm going with the Browns.
He's going with
If one of the rookies would be starting, I would take the Bengals. But I'm going with Flacco because he's starting. He's a veteran. He should be able to handle the Browns. He handled them last year when he played them.
He didn't play him out.
Last year?
2 years ago.
2 years
I believe
ago.
it's been 2 years since he's been here, yeah.
Yeah. Because last year he was out, yeah.
My attitude's the same with Bob's. I'm going to go with the Browns here. Browns by 10. I think Jared Jeudy and David Njoku. Njoku already knows. But Judy's going to learn real quick. He's going to love Flacco as his quarterback. I think those two are going to have a good game. I do have the Bengals scoring some good points. I mean, I see this being a 24-14 type game. I think the defense will do overall very well, but Bengals offense is very good. They will put points on the board, but I think that the important thing is Flacco's got to keep the offense on the field. And he's going to throw the ball a lot. You don't have Quinshaw Judkins back yet. The run game is going to be, I think, inconsistent at first. So you're going to see a lot of throwing of the ball, but he's going to do it fast. He's going to do it accurately, and I think the fans are going to like what they see. Last time the Bengals started the season off against the Browns was 2 years ago, before Flacco Mania broke out. Chubb was still on the Browns, Watson was still on the Browns, and they both had an excellent game. And then the next game, that's where everything went to hell. So that's last time it did not work out for Cincinnati, but the last time Flacco started the season off against the Bengals was his rookie season. So this has happened before. So 17 years ago, here he is starting just with a different team there. We both go Browns there. 1 p.m. on Fox, Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Atlanta Falcons. Tampa Bay's 2.5-point favorites. Tampa Bay with Baker Mayfield, they won a playoff game last year. Couldn't get over the hump in round 2 there.
The game in Atlanta?
The game's in Atlanta. Atlanta's going to start Michael Penix. Atlanta, solid last year. Again, similar with the Bengals, they couldn't do enough to get to the playoffs, but they have a good foundation, what they have. Bob, what are we thinking?
I'm going to take Atlanta.
He's taking Atlanta.
Only because they're home.
Only because they're home. Atlanta there. Give me Baker and the Buccaneers by 6. Okay, I really like the Buccaneers going into this season. I like Atlanta too. I think Atlanta's going to be a dark horse.
Well, if they're only given 2 points, I'll take Atlanta in 2.
Yeah. I'm going to say just Baker outduels Penix here, and they win by 6 here. 1 p.m. on CBS, the Miami Dolphins at the Indianapolis Colts. This is going to get interesting. Miami had a disappointing season last year because of injuries. If they can stay healthy, they'll go stay in the conversation, and Miami usually does play very well at the beginning of the year. They're going at the Colts that have Daniel Jones as their starting quarterback. And it's just interesting things happen with Indiana here. I got mixed feelings about both teams going into the season, but Bob, what do you think about this game here? Colts are favored by 1.5 points.
I'm going to go with Miami.
He's going with Miami there. I'm going with Miami too. I'm going to go by Miami by 17. I got a feeling the Colts are going to take a dip in production. I think this is a tough matchup for the Colts here, given their circumstances. But I think Miami's going to break out and remind you what kind of team they are in the first half, and then we'll see what they do in the second half. But the first half, they usually do solid. If Tua can stay healthy, they're going to play well. So I got Miami going there. 1 p.m. on Fox. This is actually going to be a good game. You have the Carolina Panthers at the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Oh, that's Super Bowl bound.
These are two cats that are hungry for wins after a very disappointing season last year. Jacksonville's 3.5 favorites in Jacksonville. Carolina's got a new coach. Jacksonville's got it. Jacksonville's got a new coach. Carolina's coach was a rookie last year. They ended on a high note. Both teams have made some serious additions, especially from the draft. Bob, what do you think about this game going?
I'm going to go with the Jaguars.
He's going
Jacksonville.
He's going with Jacksonville there. I'm going Carolina. I'm going Carolina by 5. I think they're just they're slightly better. I think on paper they're a little better, just a little bit. I know that sounds crazy because this is the Carolina team that's struggled, but they've added a lot of good young pieces. They're starting to get it together. You saw a little bit of it against the preseason game against Cleveland. Some of it's getting much better. I think that this is a team that wants to win on a high note. That wants to start the season on a high note. I think they beat Jacksonville, and then Jacksonville will make adjustments later. 1 p.m. on CBS, the Las Vegas Raiders will go at the New England Patriots there in Foxborough. Foxborough Patriots 2.5 point favorites there.
Patriots 2.5 points favorite?
Yeah, they are. Both teams added a new coach, and they were former coaches there. Venture coaches, I should say. Pete Carroll goes to Vegas, and a fan favorite of the Patriots there. How am I losing his name? He's from Akron.
Went to Walsh.
Linebacker,
Walsh.
yes.
God, I can't think of his name.
Not Brewski. That was Vrabel. Mike Vrabel.
Mike Vrabel, yeah.
Mike Vrabel, who was in the Browns front office last year, is their head coach now. So they've shaken up the team's roster, but they made some additions. Both teams have some work to do, but here we are. Bob, what do you think about it?
I'm going to go with the Akron boy. New England.
Yeah. I'm going to go Patriots, too. I think with the young, good defensive players they have, Vrabel's going to use them a little bit better properly than Mayo did last year. And I just think they match up. I'll go Patriots at 4. It could be a 24-20 game. But
I think it's going to be close.
Yeah, I'm gonna go New England there. 1 p.m. on CBS, we have the Arizona Cardinals at the New Orleans Saints. Cardinals 6.5 point favorites in this game. Cardinals improved greatly last year. Saints predicted to be the worst team in the league this year. Bob, what do you think?
Arizona.
I'm going Arizona too. I liked what they did in the offseason as well. I liked what they showed to us last year. I think this is a team back in the playoff conversation. Not saying they're going to win their division necessarily, but I think parts of their division did get weaker. That's opening up the door for them to get a little better. I like Arizona a lot going this year. I'm going to go Arizona too. I think it'll be more than 6.5 though. Give me the guys by about 15 there. New Orleans also going through a new head coach there. 1 p.m. at CBS, we go to New York as the Pittsburgh Steelers take on the New York Jets, excuse me.
This is New Jersey. They do play in the Meadowlands.
Right.
Which is New Jersey.
Pittsburgh's 2.5 point favorites. Pittsburgh has Aaron Rodgers, who was with the Jets last year. And Jets got a new head coach, who also, with Justin Fields, was with the Steelers last year. What do you think about this game? I mean, it's all kinds of...
It hurts me to say this, but I'll take Pittsburgh.
I'll take Pittsburgh. It could even be 1 point. Part of me thinks the Jets could potentially upset them, but I got Pittsburgh edging them out.
I'm going with Pittsburgh because of Rodgers. I mean, he's got to be close to 40 now.
Right.
You know?
No, he is over 40. I'm going to go because of Tomlin. I think it's just the seasoned coach is going to be better than the rookie coach in this case.
It's going to be.
So I do think it'll be a close game. The 1 p.m. on Fox, we do have to hustle this up a little bit. New York Giants at the Washington Commanders. Commanders are 6 point favorites. Commanders made the playoffs last year. Giants were one of the worst teams in the league last year. But both have made. I mean, Giants made some significant changes there. What do you think about Washington?
I think Washington's going to win it.
Washington's going to win it there. Yeah. I'm going to go Washington. I'll do Washington by 7. I think it'll be a close game. I do think Giants did get better, though. It'll be a more entertaining game there. 4:05 p.m. We're at the 4 o'clock games now on Fox. The Tennessee Titans, that were the worst team in the league last year, will go to the Denver Broncos, who were one of the more improved teams last year. Broncos are 7.5 point favorites. Bob, what do you think?
Denver.
With the rookie quarterback with Tennessee and everything, I'm gonna go with Denver. I'm gonna say Denver by 17. 4:05 p.m. on Fox. A heated rivalry matchup here. San Francisco 49ers at the Seattle Seahawks. 49ers are 2.5 point favorites despite a banged up wide receiver room, and Seahawks being one of the better defensive teams last year. What do you think, Bob?
I'm going with Seattle.
Yeah, I'm going Seattle too. I like Seattle going into the season. I think right now they're built a little better than San Francisco. as long as they stay healthy, I think Seattle will be in that playoff talk throughout the season. I'm going to say Seattle by 10. There, 4:25 p.m. on CBS. Another heated rivalry. We have the Detroit Lions at the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay 2.5-point favorites. Bob, what do you think about that? Lions ruled the North last year.
Yeah, I know, but I'll go. I'll go with Detroit. I'll go with Detroit.
He's going with Detroit. I'm going with Green Bay.
Yeah.
I'm Green Bay by 9.
I don't think it's going to be. I think it's going to be close.
New offensive coordinator for the Lions. It's going to be a little bit of a new system. I think they'll be overall fine. But with the hype of Micah Parsons in that home, I think Green Bay's got it.
You're taking because of that Detroit, the Dallas guy going to
4:25 p.m. at CBS. Houston Texans at the Los Angeles Rams. This one's going to be a good one. Rams are 2.5-point favorites. Bob, what do you think?
I'll go with the Rams.
He's going to go with the Rams. I'll go with the Rams by 3. I think it's because part of me wants to take Houston here, but I'm going to go with the Rams. We're almost out of time, so we have to go. So 8:20 p.m. on NBC Sunday night. Wait all day for a Sunday night. Waited all offseason for a Sunday night. We have Baltimore Ravens versus the Buffalo Bills at Buffalo. But Buffalo predicted to be the AFC favorites here. Buffalo, 1.5
favorite?
Favorite.
Well, I'm taking Buffalo anyway.
He's taking Buffalo there. I'm taking Buffalo.
Only because they're in Buffalo.
Buffalo by 7.
And if they're lucky, we'll get 8 feet of snow and it'll be minus.
I hope not in September. That's bad. It's supposed to be 66.
That's the way Buffalo could win.
Monday night, first week game because of all the because of the Brazil game. We only have one Monday night football game on week 1. This hasn't happened in a while. And 8:15 p.m. on ABC, we have Minnesota at Chicago. Minnesota 1.5 favorites. Minnesota was a hot team last year, lost right out of the playoffs. So Chicago improved. Parts of them improved, but then they brought in the new head coach and Johnson, former offensive coordinator from the Lions. Bob, what do you think?
I'm going with the Bears.
He's going with the Bears.
I'm going with the Bears.
Give me Minnesota by 4. I just think it's McCarthy versus Williams. It could go either way.
This is an old black and blue division.
It is. It is. My gut says Vikings are just the better team here in this situation there. So that we're out of time. When we come back. Oh yes. So just a reminder that this Friday we have
high school football live here on Fifth Dimension Radio and on WAOH.TV Monday nights, 6 o'clock. Got Talmadge Blue Devils taking on the Green Bulldogs from Talmadge High School beginning at 6:45 pregame, 7 p.m. kickoff. Hear it all live with Ron Whitmer and Chris Canova for all the action here on Fifth Dimension Radio.
It'll be a good one. When we come back next week, we'll talk about that Talmadge and Green game briefly. We'll talk about the next game too. We'll talk about how Ohio State, Akron, the rest of the Big Ten, and MAC did, how the guards are in their situation with the playoff race, and how the Browns did in their first game. Please, after you get 3 wins last year, could you start things off with a win? That'd be great. Beating up Cincinnati, that'd be great. But until then, thank you, Bob. Thank you, producer Bob. And with that being said, go Guards, go Ducks, go Buckeyes, go Zips, go Browns. Did I miss anybody?
No.
The crew. Go. Have a nice one.